Hello everyone, I'm your host Taha. So it's been a few months since I'm releasing new episodes with my amazing guests on the podcast, and I heard a few questions from you guys about the show. Why 415 Stories? Why I'm doing this podcast? And today I'm going to shortly answer those questions. So first of all, who I am. I was born in Turkey in the 90s, and I was always curious about the things that change the world, and especially in technology. So fast forward, I spent my last 3 years in business development and growth, especially founding, advising, and mentoring the companies here in San Francisco. Then, while I was working on my startup a few months ago, I realized that there are lots of insights and fundamentals that I can learn from the people in here. And instead of grabbing a quick coffee or going to a lunch or dinner, I wanted to share with the other people and make it accessible to everyone who will be interested in what we are talking about. And then we released first couple of episodes. The response was pretty exciting, and people wanted to hear what we are sharing on the podcast. I said I wanted to make more podcasts, and we are sharing more episodes every week. There are lots of interviews waiting in schedule actually to go live, and there are surprise guests, interesting topics on the way, so stay tuned with 415. So the second question is, why 415? It is basically the area code of San Francisco City, just because we are only talking with the founders, leaders, and investors who are living here in San Francisco and the Bay Area. And I think there might be some exceptions from other parts of the world or the country, but for now, the podcast is only focused on the Bay Area, folks. And who knows, maybe we create another podcast called 212 for New York, or I don't know, we'll see. So the last question is, how do you get all those great people to your podcast? I think this is the most frequently asked questions to the podcast, and honestly, I don't have any secrets. So some of the guests are my existing friends, and I welcome them to my podcast, and we are having our chats. Some guests are from my network. I ask my friends to introduce me to those great people that I'm curious about, and I'd like to talk to them on the pod. But sometimes I just directly ask. For example, Jason Calacanis. I just wrote an email to Jason and asked him, would you like to come to the podcast? And he said, yeah. Then he invited me to his studio, and I met with this great team, Nick, Charles, Jacqueline. Glad to meet with these great people. So we recorded our podcast, and you can watch it from the channel or from your favorite podcast app. And I realized that the people are very humble and open in San Francisco. If you ask them nicely and respect their time while you're reaching out to them, I think you can make it happen. And I actually invite very few people to the podcast over time to make sure that our audience will learn valuable insights from them. And if you think that there are lots of great people to talk to in San Francisco, I think the podcast hopefully will continue to reach out to you. So last but not least, I would like to say thank you to all my friends who came to the show, and thanks to our sponsors who are supporting our show to make it happen. And thank you to all for listening to the pod, sharing with your friends, and making this content happen. And stay tuned with 415, amazing episodes, surprise guests, and interesting topics on the way. Thanks for watching. See you on the next episode.